Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stereotypes. Cubana Chief Priest, Okechukwu, Pascal, the socialite and the business guy, is the founder of the Shrine Club in Imo State, Owerri in Imo State. He was arraigned in the court today. I think he was arrested yesterday by the Efcc, and then today was arraigned before a Lagos High Court for Naira abuse and mutilation. Same thing that somebody was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment last 2 weeks with Bobrisky. And a lot of people have been asking, what is different between this and what happened to Bobrisky? And then you as a legal person, think you need to explain more here. What's the difference between this case and the other one? But a lot of people are confused. This guy was granted 10 million bail, and then the other guy had no chance for fine, and they was just sent to prison in a very short period of time.
Honestly, when I saw it, it was so funny. Considering what we saw online, so many people, they are still baffled with the whole thing. When you file a case against someone, in the case of Pascal Okechukwu, Efcc filed a case against him. This is a criminal matter. He's been prosecuted for Naira abuse and mutilation. So when you file a case against someone, you have the onus to prove that that person is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. So what we just saw that played out today was this. When they came to court, Pascal Okechukwu took a plea of not guilty. Now, EFCC had no other option than to go back to their house and then bring possible evidence that they can use and nail this guy. And the judge on his own part had no other option than to grant this young man bail. There are offenses that are not bailable, but in this manner...
It's a bailable offense?
Yes.
So assuming Bobrisky also pleaded not guilty, they would have gone for trial also?
Sure.
And possibly he should have been bailed?
Sure. Now, in the case of Bobrisky or Risky Bob or Reckless Bob, as the case might be, what he did, I think it was a feminine part of him that played out. He became frightened, just like I said, I think it was a feminine aspect of him that played out. So what happened, we saw someone that admitted guilt.
From the first go?
Yes. He just admitted guilt. I don't know whether the advice came from his lawyer and then he now went with the flow. Now, what happened in that case, the moment he admitted guilt, that was the end. EFCC had no other case to prove because Bobrisky had already proved the case for them.
Okay,
and then the judge had no other option than to sentence him.
That is go for judgment and all those ones.
Exactly. That was what happened. But in the case of Pascal Okechukwu's trial still continues. I've been seeing people saying things like, how come Bobrisky got a different treatment? Is it because Cubana Chief Priest is wealthier than Bobrisky? Is it because he's more connected than Bobrisky?
So he's more. There are chances that he will still go to. This guy can also go for the 6 months. That is when we'll go to the stage where the judge sentences this one also. Sure,
there are chances, but then again, these things boils down on the lawyer you are using. There are so many scenarios to this thing. Now, EFCC, they are saying this guy mutilated Naira, sprayed Naira, and the rest. Now, how do you prove it?
With the videos.
Which videos?
Anyway, there are videos. I don't know how true it is, but I saw somebody who posted that in the chat sheet, they were like, some of those videos came from 2020.
Now, apart from the videos coming from 2020, because the provision is this, once it's a crime, it's not statute bad. There is no limitation to where you can bring an action against a person for a crime. But in every law, there are exceptions. But this particular one is not an exception. Now, what I'm even saying is this. If this guy, Cubana Chief Priest, if he has a smart lawyer, he can find his way around this whole thing. Now, the truth there is this. There was no EFCC operative there. Number one.
Yeah.
Yes, on that day, number one. Number two, there is no way they can even prove it was Naira. That's real Naira printed by CBN that they were spraying. That's another thing. They need, in fact, I don't even know how EFCC can win this case.
You are very, very, very correct, because I've gone to an occasion where people came around and they were spending a lot of money, spraying money. So, and one of my friends came and told me that this is not real money. Oh. Like what? I think it was one of their sister that was getting married. Said no, that these guys are very smart. That people rushed the money when some people just came inside and they rushed when they were spending the money. No, now throw some boys and I want to pick the money. They said they picked it, pick 1,000 and found out it's paper.
You can imagine.
So what actually happened is that the celebrant knew that he had a lot of boys who were going to spray money. And from their previous experiences, maybe after spraying money, the guys picking the money and all those ones. At the end of the day,
they will collect some.
A lot of the money will get missing. So they came up with a very smart way now. So if you want to spray like 200,000 naira now, you go to the treasurer. The treasurer appointed there.
Okay.
You transfer the money.
Oh, beautiful.
Transfer the money to them and they give you equivalent of that money. So they were not printed those money. So many of the naira money. Very fake. Even if you look at it now, it's paper.
Now you can imagine that means it's going to be Cubana's chief priest lawyer, his words against that of EFCC.
Yes.
EFCC, they have to bring a witness that was there. And not only bringing a witness that was there, that witness equally needs to tender evidence. Look at, okay, this was part of the naira that Cubana chief priest sprayed on that day. I don't know if you are following.
Yes, yeah.
Look at the naira, and the courts will examine it. They will find a professional that will run an examination to confirm that indeed this is part of the money that was printed by CBN.
It's going to be very hard for them to prove this, because
that's the thing.
Because since they pleaded not guilty now, and this will set a very, very good precedent. A lot of people will not be spraying money, and I think EFCC is not doing what is wrong here.
No.
This is their job, and some people are saying, why is it now they should go and change this? But this is actually part of the law.
The act has been in existence since 2007.
I mean, I'm not really in support of people spraying money. Why are we spraying money up and down? This thing has to stop.
It's devaluing our naira.
There's no civility in people just come out and they spray money. And again, most celebrants will tell you that without that, they will not get enough money. No, it's psychological. When someone has to do it privately, and the guy would have risen 10K.
We like that recognition. Okay,
yes,
come and spray. Okay, at 100K, you see it. 1,000, 500 naira.
People not supposed to be spraying 50 naira. Most people don't do it. It's from 200 and 1,000 and above. Now, but when it's now private,
but it's still naira.
Yeah, but when it's private now, somebody can just come and give you 15K, 10K, or 5K. Sir.
That's another thing. But then again,
I go to that level.
I just feel that with the recent happenings, it has really opened our eyes to so many things.
Portable came out and begged even openly.
That's another thing. Now, from the way this whole thing is going,
Obi
Cubana and so many others, including Wizkid, Davido, a whole lot of them, including all these comedians that have been sharing money, including guys that do pranks and the rest, unless they can come up with a different story.
But if
different,
let's see what happens to Chief Priest. If Chief Priest goes to prison, you understand, or he's convicted, it's actually going to mean a lot. Because the FCC can go wide and start arresting a lot of them. They just use the video and it's going to be cruise.
He won't.
No one knows. No. Sentence Bobrisky, I believe that from the first one, they convicted the girl and they fined of 300. I was thinking that's what
I knew from the beginning that Bobrisky would be sentenced.
Most people believe that Bobrisky will not actually sentenced because of that mutilation.
Exactly. That's the thing. People see Bobrisky as a nuisance on social media.
Well, it's not. Bobrisky was not actually committing crime.
From which angle?
Now,
Bobrisky is in an amorous, open relationship
with. They should have petition, but that's not what we're talking about.
That's the thing.
It's only very dark man that wrote petition to the IG.
No. See. There is something you need to understand here. Now, when a judge is sentencing an accused, there are so many factors that comes into play. For instance, let's say a judge that fought with the wife before coming to the court that month, you are gone.
Just sentence you.
There is no prayer that unless there is no prayer that will save you that day, unless God wants to save you.
People believe that the judge was harsh.
Yes, a lot of people. Because looking at the provision said 6 months or option of fine. Fine of 50,000 naira.
The first offender had a fine of 300.
Yes. That's the actress, Oluwadare.
Yeah.
She had a fine of 300,000 naira. Now, looking at Bobrisky, they could have given Bobrisky an option of fine,
Fine,
maybe 1 million naira.
Or
Because the provision said not less than 50,000 naira.
Okay.
So it's not as if it must be 50,000
can
naira.
be greater than that.
Yes, but it came to Bobrisky's own.
You know, if they want to give this guy Chief Priest, if you want to give Chief Priest actually fine, guy,
He's
go
going
reach
to
like 10
pay it
million.
and leave the next day.
Yeah, but he's going to reach like 10 million. So he had a 10 million bail.
That's what I'm
That's to
saying.
tell you that the guy will pay close to that,
Sure,
or more than that,
sure,
even during
sure.
the fine.
In the case of Bobrisky, honestly, I really do not
If they
know
gave him 20 million, he would have paid it.
Bobrisky.
That's Range Rovers and all those. Man.
Yeah, I think so.
But the FCC is doing well. So a lot of people are complaining about them. Like they said, Fisayo and all those guys posted a lot of things about the customer. They're not doing anything. But actually, this is part of the law. Why you spray money for gossip?
And another thing we need to consider, there is a new sheriff in town. EFCC, they have a new boss,
Okay,
a
maybe
new
it's
oga,
concentrating on
the
this
oga
one.
at the top. Now, and from what I heard, I was listening to, or rather, I was watching TVC, a news that they did on this Naira saga. Now, I noticed that EFCC has a jingle on this Naira mutilation,
Sometimes.
spraying, the evaluation, and the rest. Now, devaluing the face of Naira and the rest. Now, EFCC, they've been sponsoring this jingle. What do they want to achieve through this jingle? They want to discourage people that are spraying this Naira. And I heard that the jingle is still ongoing and it's going to run from this April to the end of the month. Now, imagine if you are doing all this to stop a thing and yet nobody is paying attention to you. You will definitely react the way the EFCC boss is reacting. And whatever they are doing now is not outside their powers. It's not ultra virus.
It's within their power. And I think everybody, you see that now, let me tell you, they will start spraying money in occasions. You see what happens. Even politicians should be very, very careful.
Sure.
Because if our laws work like this, forget that things are not working in Nigeria. You see this thing that's happening now. Most of them be very careful. Even most of their PAs and their lawyers will warn them, okay, stay away from this. Because you're going to bring you just expose yourself to attack. Any day you do this to them, you just want to carry and lock you up.
You don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me. It's common thing.
Very careful now, especially when you are well placed. Because they will use you as an example.
Sure.
Who knows that they will go for, who knows the next person they are planning for? And then they are catching rules with all these things.
That's the thing.
You don't be surprised that after this guy now, they will say arraigned another person.
Sure.